Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to take the time to respond to a comment that I received recently. And what I'm going to do is read the comment and then I'm going to share my answers. So this comment was left on my video titled, What It's Like to Be a Sleep Tech Trainee. So this person said, Did your work pick the school for you? So by school, they mean the sleep school that I attended in Memphis, Tennessee, or a suburb of Memphis. It was actually in Germantown, Tennessee. I went to Focus Sleep School, which is basically you do a week of virtual classes. So they were held on Microsoft Teams. So you're basically on like a Zoom call, really. And we did like bookwork that week, and then the next week we had 2 days of hands-on training in Germantown. So we did hands-on training practicing with mask fitting and adjusting masks, applying masks, practicing 10-20 placement, and doing at least 2 full hookups from head to toe for a sleep study on our classmates. And long story short, yes, my employer did pick the sleep school that I attended. I'm not really sure why they wanted to send me all the way to Tennessee, because I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and there are sleep schools that are in the state of Michigan. So I'm not sure if there is some sort of like partnership that the hospital that I work at has with this particular sleep school, or if for whatever reason they just like sending their people out of state to get trained. I'm not really sure. My boss at the time that they purchased this training course for me wasn't really sure either, because he just kind of took over everything with the sleep center. So he's not really sure like why they had chosen to send myself and the other sleep tech that I work with. She also went through Focus, and so that's just how it is. So the next question is, what were the pros and cons of the school? So I think, honestly, the pros are that you do have that time that is virtual. So I didn't have to like try to pay for a hotel for 2 weeks, or even an entire week. Like when my coworker went, the other sleep tech that I work with, she was there for an entire week. And I didn't have to do that. But at the same time, I would also say that that's a con, because she got to experience a lot more in Tennessee that I wish I would have had a little bit of extra time to experience. Um, Obviously, I was only there for like 2 days, so I didn't really have time to really do much of anything, because on the day after we took our final exam, I had to leave the hotel by like 3 a.m. And so I didn't really have time to do any touristy things. By the time I was done with class, I was like dead tired, because, you're studying to try to pass this course and pass the final exam. And you're trying to learn everything you can, because obviously there's a reason that you're there and it's important that you learn. You don't want to just go and goof off. Um, I would say another pro is that there was actually hands-on practice. Most of the people in my class had at least a little bit of healthcare experience. So 3 of us had prior sleep center experience as well as prior medical experience. I was the only one that had actual night shift sleep tech trainee, whatever you want to call it, experience, because I've been working in the sleep center since October of 2023. And when I went to Tennessee, it was February of 2024. And I had at least a month of night shift experience by the time I flew to Tennessee to do my training. Um, so the other ones were working either on day shift, or they were working as medical assistants. Like 3 of us were medical assistants previously too. So I've also found that interesting. And then the other one, he was a nursing student, but I don't think he had actually worked in the medical field, if I remember correctly. If you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. But I would say that, a pro is that you get that hands-on experience, because there are virtual programs that you can take where you don't have the hands-on experience. And I feel like, at least for me, it helps me to be able to do things so that I can get into the groove of like, okay, this is what I need to do. And then after this, I do this. And like practicing hands-on helps me solidify that into my brain. So I definitely see that as a pro. I think con would be that I don't feel like we got enough hands-on experience because, you know, like only having a couple of days, we only did 2 patient hookups, like full patient hookups. And my partner, the first day, like I had been doing it, at least partially in the sleep center at work before I went. So I had been doing everything like at work before I went to Tennessee with the patient hookups. I had been doing everything except for the EEG leads. So I had been doing the belts, the stickers. I had done, or the snap leads, we call them stickers, the EKG, the EMGs, the M's and the I's, like the leg leads, the respiratory effort belts, all that stuff. Like I had been doing that at work. I just feel like it would have helped a little bit more to have a little bit of extra time because, you know, I didn't really get a whole lot because I had experience doing it. I was kind of a little bit quicker than my classmates. And so, like, I kind of felt a little gypped, if I'm being honest. And the last question of this comment is, how would you prepare for the A-Step program if you're not already a trainee? Thanks. So the A-Step program is actually meant to be an introductory course. So it's an 80-hour introductory course. It is meant for people that don't have experience, and it is meant to be that entry-level training. I just feel like if you are very interested in learning about sleep medicine and becoming a sleep tech, take the time to actually research what you are learning. There are books that you can buy on Amazon and, you know, elsewhere that can give you an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Definitely, if you're going to do that, do not buy anything flashcard related from Mometrics. It will completely overwhelm you. And I say that from experience because I have shown those flashcards on here before and they are horrible. But I would say get yourself a book, read about sleep medicine, watch some YouTube videos. There is a podcast that gives a lot of information. It is Sleep Tech Talk, I think it is. They have a YouTube channel and they're also on other podcasting platforms. But I listen to them at work on days when it is slower and there's not really a whole lot to do. You can also, if you're willing to pay money, you can learn how to score sleep studies and stage sleep studies. There is a scoring course on ISR through the AASM, which is the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. ISR is Interscorer Reliability, and that I would not recommend doing if you are like just looking to find out if A-Step would be right for you, because it is very frustrating when you're first learning because it can be very confusing. You have to learn like the amplitude of different brain waves and things like that. So it is a little bit intense, but I would recommend that, the scoring course on ISR, Sleep ISR, if you are someone who is like signed up for the A-Step program. So I would just say, like, do your research, look on Amazon, get a book. There are some that I can recommend. If you guys are interested, I can show you the ones that I have in another video. I can talk about where I have found different helpful things that have kind of helped me in this whole process. Other than that, I would say get ready to take notes, get ready to learn, understand that it is okay to feel overwhelmed because it is a lot of information. And it is going to be a lot of information. Just be aware of that. I'm not saying that it is impossible, but it can be very overwhelming when you first start. I would say, you know, like I said, look into different podcasts, look into different YouTube videos. Even if you just learn about like CPAP masks and learn about the different types of sleep devices like a CPAP, a bilevel, or an ASV. So A bi-level has also been known as a BiPAP. BiPAP is actually a brand name. The device itself is called a bi-level. I can give you guys more information about all of those if that's something you guys are curious about. But I would just say, don't go and get yourself overwhelmed looking into all of these different sources. Just look at the introductory materials. I don't necessarily feel like you have to be prepared if you are able to get a job as a sleep tech trainee, or even like reach out to a sleep center in your area and see if they would be okay with you shadowing a sleep tech, even if it's just for a few days, just to kind of see if it might be something that you think would be for you. I think that would be helpful as well. They may or may not be willing to do that. I think it just depends on the sleep center. But I think if you let them know, like, hey, I am looking into whether or not I think it would be good for me to try to become a sleep tech, if this is something that I could do, would you be willing to maybe let me shadow with one of your sleep techs for a couple days, just so that I can see kind of what it is, what I'm getting myself into, all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully this answers your questions. I feel like I kind of have gotten all over the place with this video, so I apologize. Let me know if you'd like me to clarify anything or give any further information or details, and I can definitely do that for you. And yeah, with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.